Today's hyperpigmentation Q&A is on this question. You started tretinoin for pigmentation, but your skin is getting darker. It's more common than you think. Here's what's really happening under the surface and what you can expect to see as you continue your journey. Tretinoin doesn't create pigmentation, but it can trigger inflammation under certain circumstances, and we'll talk about what you can do around it. And it can also surface hyperpigmentation that was under the surface. You just weren't maybe seeing it right then and there early on. So what do? Tretinoin causes increased cell turnover, right? Going faster through the skin cycle from the base layer all the way to the stratum corneum. And as it accelerates that, what you could get is deeper layers of pigmentation pushing through to the top much more frequently. It could be pigmentation that was just beginning to generate and you're now seeing, and it could be because there are underlying triggers that are not quite in control that continue to generate those pigmentation as well. Now remember that tretinoin is also exfoliating, and the process of that exfoliation as well as that faster skin renewal cycle can mean that skin is more prone to post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation if you're not protecting your skin and buffering appropriately. Studies show that this is more common in brown skin in Fitzpatrick 4 through 6 because our melanocytes are more reactive to irritation. As a woman, if you've got something like PCOS, that can absolutely make things worse because now you're dealing with hormonal imbalances, elevated androgens, elevated insulin resistance, and all of these can overstimulate melanocytes, which again increases hyperpigmentation risk. And that risk goes up for even minor irritation or sun exposure. So extra diligence is required. But let's say you don't have PCOS. What are common mistakes that can worsen it? First, you're using tretinoin at a strength or frequency that your skin is not ready for it yet. When we start using tretinoin or any retinoid for that matter, our skin goes through a process called retinization. It has to get used to that level, and as you move up the ladder, you must give it time to adjust. If you move up too far, too frequently, you are absolutely going to cause irritation, and that's not going to help your case at all. It could also be because you're not moisturizing enough. So if you feel even a little bit of irritation with tretinoin, use your moisturizer and then apply tretinoin on top of it. There is a reason the sandwich method is what dermatologists recommend, especially when you get started on it. It does provide a buffer against that irritation. Use that to your advantage. And let's say you're buffering, use a richer moisturizer than you would normally use when you start using tretinoin. Trust me, your skin needs it, and you are going to be so much better off for having done that than to use something that is not quite rich enough. The third mistake is not using your sunscreen daily, even indoors. Using even the smallest amount of retinol, or tretinoin makes you far more vulnerable to pigmentation from UV exposure. You absolutely must use sunscreen even when you're indoors. UVA rays penetrate glass, and even if you're not sitting directly in sunlight, you could have indirect UV exposure, and that can make your pigmentation worse. So to recap, what do? You buffer your tretinoin. Make sure you're doing your full skin routine, apply your moisturizer, then apply tretinoin over it. You can go over it with another layer of moisturizer, or you could just leave it there. Second, use a richer moisturizer than you normally would. Third, start low and slow. Use the number of days you are using it in the week to the number of weeks that you must stay at that level before you progress. What does that mean? If you're using it once a week to see if you're irritated, do that for 1 week, then move up to twice a week. If you're okay with that, do 2 weeks of that before you move up to 3 weeks. If you're okay with that, do 3 weeks of 3 times a week before you move up to 4 times a week, and then stay there for 4 weeks, and so on. Why? Because the more you introduce it into your skin routine, the higher the irritation risk. So you want your skin to be well adjusted to it before you step up another notch. Make sure you have calming ingredients in your skin routine as well. So you want panthenol, niacinamide, you want cica, you want ceramides. All of these are a must, and you must wear SPF. Your skin may look darker right now, but if you use it the right way, you will get to more even, brighter skin over time. Keep dropping your questions, and I will pick as many as I can to answer during the week.